Welcome back, Nerd Squad. Sidekicks are often represented in comics as being the heroes in training, or the ones who our heroes see potential in and feel inspired to team up with. Many of them end up going on to become heroes in their own right, inspired by those who they worked alongside, or sometimes even end up becoming villains. Today we'll be taking a look at some of the most recent additions to the world of superheroic sidekicks, as we count down the top 10 newest superhero sidekicks. And despite the fact that DC usually has monopoly on sidekicks in my opinion, we even have managed to wrestle up some new ones from Marvel as well, surprisingly. Be sure to stick around till the end of this list where I'll have some bonus content coming your way. Alright, let's get counting. Number 10, Bob. Bob Dobalina, known simply as Bob, was an agent of Hydra who was first introduced in Cable and Deadpool issue 38. He actually only became an agent of Hydra because he was bullied into it by his wife, and because he found the appeal of a dental plan and stability offered by Hydra to be appealing. Unfortunately, during his time with Hydra, he ended up running into and being confronted by Deadpool, who then coerced him into betraying Hydra, forcing Bob to become his sidekick. I feel like that was an unlucky day for Bob. Also, Bob gets bullied by like a mini Deadpool. Like, Deadpool is shrunk at this point. And Deadpool's so dangerous, he can threaten you with a card. That is what I learned in that issue where Bob appears. Number 9, Jackson Hyde. The New Earth version of Jackson Hyde was also known by his true name, Calderon. He first appeared in Brightest Day, issue number 4. Raised by adoptive parents, Jackson was taught to fear and distance himself from the water, due to the fact that his parents were tasked from protecting him from his biological parents, mostly his villainous father, Black Manta. Jackson Hyde would later go on to become Aquaman's sidekick, Aqualad, and Aquaman would seek him out in order to protect him from Siren and her Death Squad. His New 52 version has a similar backstory, though he was raised by his biological mother alone instead, but is also known for being openly gay and is sometimes a member of the Teen Titans. I think either way he's a pretty cool character. Both versions of Jackson Hyde are good. Number 8, Bluebird. Harper Row was first introduced in Batman Volume 2, issue 11. She would end up becoming a sidekick of Batman's and a member of the Bat family, taking up the mantle Bluebird. Growing up, her dad was often absent and was notorious for breaking things whenever he actually was around the house. As such, Harper took it upon herself to become a fixer of things, and in doing so, ended up becoming a master at electrical engineering. During DC's rebirth, she ended up quitting the vigilante life, instead choosing to focus on her education in the engineering field, attending Gotham University, but still spending time with the members of the Bat family, just no longer as a fellow crime fighter. Just as a family member, which is super cute. I also love that she's like getting a university education. You don't see a lot of like vigilantes and superheroes and sidekicks actually doing that. Number 7, Alpha. Andrew Maguire was a student at the same school that Peter Parker had attended, but unlike Peter, it was not as well known for his academics. Instead, Andrew merely got by when it came to his grades. He was first introduced to us in Amazing Spider-Man issue 692, and would eventually go on to get kinetic energy manipulation powers, following his involvement in an accident at Horizon Labs. His powers would allow him to take kinetic energy and use it to enhance his physique in different ways, or grant him additional powers. He would take the codename Alpha, becoming Spider-Man's sidekick for a short while. Eventually, Spider-Man would find him to be too irresponsible for the job. So then he wouldn't be his sidekick anymore. Rough. Number 6, Wallace R. West / Kid Flash. Originally in New 52, this version of Wally West was introduced as what appeared to be the newest Flash, and the new version of Wally, but fans missed the original Wally West so much that Wallace became a completely separate speedster altogether, instead of a replacement to New Earth Wally West. He is the son of Daniel West's Reverse Flash, but unlike his dad, would end up following in the footsteps of becoming a superhero, rather than a supervillain. He was retconned to be the cousin of the original Wally West, and after helping to defeat Godspeed, would become the new Kid Flash to Barry Allen's Flash. Number 5, The Signal. I swear, Batman has more sidekicks than any other superhero around. Then I feel like maybe all the superheroes combined. He goes through them like crazy. The Bat family is huge. The Signal is another such sidekick of Batman's, also known as Duke Thomas. The Signal was the leader of the We Are Robin movement in Gotham, which was formed of a bunch of teens who aimed to fight for their city, while Batman was MIA. Duke was inspired to create the movement after his parents were turned insane by the Joker. Batman actually tried to save them, but unfortunately he couldn't. Save their lives. Duke then ended up going solo after the movement disbanded, later being offered a place in the Bat family where he would train alongside Batman himself. Duke's only conditions were, ironically, that he didn't want to become another one of Batman's Robins. Which is funny because he was the leader of the, the We Are Robin movement. So, it's kind of funny. Number 4, Jon Kent. Not to be confused with Clark's dad, this Jonathan is the true natural-born son of Clark Kent, Superman, and his longtime love, Lois Lane. He was first introduced in Convergence Superman issue number 2 as a little wee baby. The cool thing about this version of Superboy is because Jon was actually around the same age as Batman's son, Damian Wayne, we got to see lots of fun moments involving these two growing up together and teaming up together despite their differences, becoming friends like their dads. Which was cute. They were even known as the Superboys for a time. However, a trip to space for Jon would rob us of the continued adventure of these two Superboys. And later, Superboy would return to Earth all grown up because space travel. Wah, wah, wah. Can't people stay kids in comics for a while? Why has everyone always gotta grow up? Number 3, Spider Bite. Nathan is a young one who is introduced in the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series, issue number 6. He is one of Spider-Man's biggest fans and dreamt of becoming Spidey's sidekick. In issue number 6, we see a day in his life as Spider-Man's sidekick, taking on one of the biggest supervillain squads ever, the Sinister 60, and fighting against Stiltman. In the end, it's revealed that Spider-Man was just playing pretend with young Nathan, who was actually a cancer patient at the hospital. Spider-Man actually came to the hospital to play with Nathan and make his wish come true, because his real wish was that he just wanted to be Spider-Man. Some real-world heroics type stuff here. At the end of their day together, Nathan reveals he's afraid to go to sleep, and Spider-Man decides to take him out swinging around the city with him just for a little bit longer, giving Nathan a bit of extra time when it comes to being Spider-Man for the day. It's a super cute issue. And if you don't think this sidekick counts, I will fight you. Nathan's too cute, we gotta count him. Even if he was only a sidekick for a day. And even if it was pretend. I still want to count it. Number 2, Harley Quinn. Now, I know what you're thinking, but wait a minute. Harley Quinn has been around forever. She's not new, and no longer is she really a sidekick. She's been here since the 90s, and she's not even a superhero sidekick. If she even was a sidekick. She's never been a superhero sidekick, right? Well, you might be right that she's been around for a while, but when it comes to being the sidekick of a superhero, it looks like this might be a credit that Harley will soon be able to add to her long resume of things that she can do. The possibility of Harley becoming Bat's sidekick was teased in the synopsis of the plot for issue 91 of volume 3 of Batman, but that came out in March, and it didn't appear to happen just yet. Though the cover also teased us in regards to this pairing. Still, this doesn't mean that all that teasing was for naught, and it is possible we'll see this partnership finally officially come to fruition later in the series. I mean, they're both in the same thing and they're both dancing around doing stuff, so. At least when it comes to this series, I'm really hoping this partnership becomes more official and DC wasn't just yanking our chains. Don't do that, DC, that's mean. Why you do that to me? Number 1, Children of the Atom. This new mutant superhero squad are rumored to be the new sidekicks for the X-Men. That's right, the X-Men, who have never really had sidekicks before. They won't be making their appearance until at least April of 2020, but they look promising. These youngsters appear to be teaming up with the X-Men, but also to have been inspired by some of your favorites in regards to the already existing members of the mutant community. This new team is supposed to be a team to speak sort of for fans of the X-Men squad as well, for us. Inspired by those of us who actually have posters of our fave X-Men in our bedrooms, or hung up in our apartments or houses. They aren't just junior X-Men, but they're actually kids themselves who admire and look up to the X-Men. They're fans. I imagine they might actually be made up of some of the younger mutant community who are itching to join the big fight, but were previously told that, the whole point of Krakoa would be so these youngsters wouldn't have to join the fight. Well, maybe things have become more dire. Thank you so much for watching, Nerd Squad. I hope you are just as excited about some of these new sidekicks and team-ups as we are. What are some of your favorite sidekicks of all time? Do you have any favorite new supervillain sidekicks? I mean, supervillains don't have sidekicks that often, but when they do. Which of these newest superhero sidekicks do you think has the most potential to become an amazing superhero all on their own one day? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 Scary Superhero Virus Disasters. Sean Smith comments, what about the Joker virus? This is my first time commenting. I want to give a shout out to all of you awesome guys and gals for such a great channel. Your videos are my happy place. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much for watching, Sean. That made my day, reading that. And for those kind words, thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you mean the Joker virus as in the digital virus, or the Joker virus as in the Joker infection from the Rocksteady Arkhamverse? Both were pretty terrifying, to be honest. Though I found the one in the Arkhamverse to be like a touch more freaky myself. Yulin10 asks, any reason why Marvel Zombies isn't on this list at all? Good question. Well, I didn't mention the hunger virus because I felt it was just so well known, and I was trying to put some lesser known viruses on the list while also trying to strike more of a balance between the two publishers of Marvel and DC when it came to content. I usually try to do a mashup of things that you all already maybe know, or stuff, you know, that people that are just getting into comics might not know yet, and then some more obscure stuff, and then I try to strike a balance between those big two, sometimes sprinkling in some extra stuff. But maybe we'll see Hunger Virus on a part 2. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and your questions responded to in a future list. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host, Amanda McKnight. You stay nerdy, YouTube. Bye-bye.